Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Unscripted by Swiftflix. I'm your host, Miss Wu, and this show is brought to you by Swiftflix Studios, a beautiful content creation studio in the heart of Magodo. So I'm here with our wonderful guests, Evil, an actor, model, voiceover artist, and mainstream, a videographer and photographer. Guys, thank you so much for being here. How are we
Thank
feeling
you.
today?
We're happy to be here.
Good,
I
good.
feel good.
So tell me a little bit about yourselves, who you are, what you do, and then we can gist.
All right, nice to meet you once again. My name is Evil. Been in the industry for quite a while, like you said. I've acted, modeled, and also do voiceover. And so far, it's been an amazing journey. So far, so good.
Okay.
The story is not always sweet, but then again, here we are, right? You asked about my background, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm from Akwa Ibom State of Nigeria.
Okay.
Uyo to be precise. I think I know how to speak 4 languages. That is Igbo, Efik, Yoruba, and Delta. So yes, I'm amazing.
Nice, impressive, impressive. 4 languages, wow. How did you learn to speak Yoruba?
Well, it was my first lingua.
Okay.
Yes, before English. English was like the secondary, right? Then the in-laws that my sisters got married to were Igbos,
Okay.
right? So lived with them, understood that language. So having traveled across Nigeria, learned how to speak other people's language so far.
Nice. That's really impressive. Awesome.
Thank you.
So, mainstream, how about you?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you once again for having me. My name is Daniel, and I'm the team lead at Mainstream Visuals. And like you said, photography, video, everything branding, and a little bit of tech as well. My background, my name is Daniel. I'm a Yoruba boy from Oyo State. So, but I love Lagos. I was born in Lagos. So that's pretty much simplicity. That's it.
Nice, nice. I love this Yoruba connection that we're having going on. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm a Yoruba
yeah.
babe. I'm a little bit jealous of you though, Evil, because my Yoruba is not the best. So when I heard that you said you're from Akwa Ibom, but you speak 4 languages, I was like, I need to get my life together. But anyway, I digress. So let's talk a little bit about what you do. Like
Okay.
I said, you're an actor, you're a voiceover artist, you're a model. So what is home for you right now in terms of what you're doing?
Wow. Well, it didn't start the way you mentioned, right?
Okay.
I think I started acting during my teenage days, right? Church, which literally at that time was the foundation for anything creative, not as it is where today. Then we were just trying to go by, get ourselves in drama units. It didn't make sense at times. We didn't have direction that okay, we're going to be XYZ in this period of time, right? But then again, during that time, my secondary school days, there's this person, Sonny Brad, who was at that time a creative director. So he was doing movies, and I said, okay, can I just let me know how it feels like.
Hmm.
It wasn't major one, but then again, he was trying to put things together. Then I do not have the confidence I had that time as at now. So I was a bit shy, timid, and I was just trying to build confidence. I've not found my voice or found myself. We're just trying. Let's see where it leads. So then we're just doing things here and there. Just to move by. But my first ever big gig was 2018. It was a cinema project. How it happened. It was very funny. But then again, it was with Blinks, Lagosian, that of I think Austin Peters, right? And ever since that time, discovery started. That is all through that time, it was a discovery for me. But that moment was like, you know what? This is the starting point for rebranding yourself and identifying who you are. So voiceover came in. I found my voice, started using it, to do jobs for brands and all of that. Then modeling also. So everything just aligned with each other. But so far, for me, home right now is modeling because I'm into the commercial part of it.
Okay. Home right now is
Modeling.
okay. So you do a bit of modeling as well too.
Yes.
So you still do dabble in the other things as
Yes, I
well.
do. I do.
Okay.
I do.
I want to kind of talk a little bit about how you. It seems as if this wasn't something that you always wanted to do. Did you have something that you wanted to do before you kind of
Acting
got
was
into that?
acting was major.
Okay, acting was
I
major.
didn't see modeling as one of the big
Okay.
thing. So acting was major. But then again, because there was no proper education in that regard, I didn't get go to film school
Yeah.
at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So church was the foundation for it. Drama unit, grow with your peers and all of
Mm-hmm.
those things. So when I started working, developing myself, constant rehearsals on certain things and building confidence, which is very important because you to be on the screen, you have to have a lot of it.
Yeah.
So working on that part of me landed me to certain things. So when I
Yeah.
find myself in screens, the first time I saw myself in the camera called Red, it was a big camera, like 4 to 5.
Mm.
I was wondering what's going on. I thought it was just a normal camera you used to use, you know. Then again, it was a you're not with the big league, so you have to,
Yeah.
you know, being your best. So that was how I transcended. So modeling for me came in between that.
Mm.
Someone asked, "Oh, I like how you smile. Can you do this for XYZ brand?" So why not?
Mm. So
You
now you're
know?
getting paid to smile.
Oh yes, I
It
do.
must be nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm in the right business, but Daniel, how did you get to this point? Mainstream, Daniel.
Okay. I mean, there were some things Evil said that actually clicked into like my journey,
Yeah.
right? So I'm pretty much just going to start from. So I would not say accidental, but almost accidental, right? A couple of years back, I've always been a creative person, right? So I did mention that I do design and stuff, right? So I've always been a creative person. Growing up, I used to draw. I used to draw pretty decently. Like I was doing quite well at that. But I never even thought about photography. It wasn't even an option. And you would really understand that back then, photography was not as commercial as it is now. So it's not even something you can tell your parents,
Hmm.
That
I
you
want to
do
be a
it.
photographer. And they're like, wait, the only thing that flashes to their head is all those people that go to weddings and say, can I take your picture? And you understand that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it wasn't heavily, I mean, it was commercial, but not like as commercial as it is in our
Today's world.
ecosystem now. Yeah. So,
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that because I was laughing because I wanted to move to that because both of you are in fields that are not conventional fields for the
yeah.
Nigerian families, right?
Hmm.
We always hear it, your mates are engineers,
Yeah.
doctors,
Yeah.
lawyers. Like, I can imagine that this was something that you're really passionate about. Like, how did you
Yes.
guys go about letting your families know, Mom, I
Hmm.
want to be a model? Model. Oh. Dad, I want to do photography, videography, because obviously they have good intentions, but
Yeah.
like, how did you navigate that as well?
So, so the funny thing is that my own story is a little bit weird. So,
Mm.
and it's not what you're expecting me to say, right? So, well, I'm just going to dive into it like gradually. So basically, I saw someone off one day, a friend of mine, and went to another friend's place. We went to he was to do a shoot. He was a photographer already then, so he wanted to do a shoot with another friend of mine. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's go. I'll come with you. Then I went with my best friend. We went there. When we went there, he was shooting and stuff, doing his thing, and I was like, okay, this looks fun. This guy looks like he's enjoying this thing. So I then told him because obviously it was like gathering of friends. So it's not like a client where you cannot. So it was a flexible environment. So I could tell him, okay, let me take your camera and let me just take something, one or two things. So and because I used to draw, so art was something that was in
Yeah,
my
it's
subconscious. Like I
natural.
just see art from things, right? So I picked up the camera and I tried to click. And I put my eyes out. I saw what everybody was seeing, and I saw what the photographer was seeing, and it just made so much sense to
Yeah.
me. The fact that you could freeze something to look a particular way beyond what people see through the normal lens, the eyes, right? I was like, okay, nah, this is a thing, and I'm definitely going to explore this thing.
Nice,
Now,
nice.
mind you, the motivation then was not even money or anything. Like it was just wanted to have fun because I just felt I was pretty young, so I was like, okay, let me just this thing seems like something interesting, just like the way I started graphics. It felt like something interesting, and I was like, okay, let me do this, right? And that was how I went home, took some shots. I told him, please, I beg, I will take some of these pictures, I'll go and try. So I took some of the pictures, went home, and then I started. So fast forward to the old parent thing, right? So there's always this stereotype of, especially during, will I say our time, it will make us feel old, but we are not that old, right? But I'll just say during that time, if you say you want to become, even there are some even professional decent jobs right now that if you say you wanted to, they'll say no, it's not given, right?
They can't brag to their
Yeah, you
mates
can't.
about
Yeah,
that profession.
exactly. So but when I started the journey, my parents saw it in me. I mean, they wanted me to be a doctor because when I say I was smart, it makes me look like I'm not smart again, right? But I used to be those kind of kids where you would come out with straight A's and all of that. So it was just logical to just be a doctor. You get the best,
Straight to
the
the point.
highest, the most difficult, that kind of thing. So I said that was what my parents felt would work well for me, and I was already living in that reality myself. So I was trying and all of that. But when I took that dive, medicine wasn't coming forth. I took the dive into tech, and it looked like I was finding myself more in tech. Me being in tech made it easier for me to transition into arts, because then when my parents started seeing results, it gave them that ginger to want to feel like, maybe we should be, since this guy is even doing the tech.
Yeah.
And this thing that he loves to do is working, right? He's enjoying it. And rather than them feeling, no, you can't be, they were just like, let's just leave this guy to do his thing,
Thank
right?
God for supportive parents.
Yeah.
Because
So they really, emotionally, they were very supportive. They didn't make it so hard for me to not do it.
yeah.
You understand? You know, when they make it so hard, even when you're trying to do it, they will see you go and hide the laptop or you hide this thing
Yeah.
because you don't want them to see it. But it was more or less like, oh, you did this, and it looks nice, because they knew I used to do design. And one thing you know about design is that design is a problem solver, right? If you're starting a business, you need design, right? You need to be able to interpret it in a place that other people can see it, right? So they knew that I was solving problem there, and it was still connected to photography.
Yeah.
So there was no need, if you discourage me from doing photography, you better discourage me from doing design.
Yeah.
Let everything scatter. You get so, but they were quite supportive. They emotionally pushed me to continue, and that
Oh,
was how
that's a
was
good
pushing
one.
me.
That's a good one. But mine was more like a challenge. Yes, it was more like a challenge. So, it was myself and my mom. I lost my dad earlier,
Sorry
during
for
my
your
secondary
loss.
school
Sorry about that.
stage. Yeah, thank you. So then when myself and my mom watch, Nollywood movies, I'll be like, this guy cannot even act. I can't do better, you know. And you look at me like, let's see you do it.
Oh, okay. I see
So,
now.
so I don't know if she was trying to talk my confidence out or challenge me to do it. I couldn't place which was, but then again, you say, let's see you do it. I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know how to navigate into it. So fast forward to when I got my first ever award, 2021, Fast Rising Actor.
Nice.
So it made me reflect on the moment that she said, let's see you do it. So that was when I knew that that word she said years ago has come to pass in my life. So
Yeah.
she she wasn't variously around at the process of
Okay.
all that, but that word literally made me know that somebody somewhere has made a word, and I should prove a point that I could literally do it.
Yeah. So all the while she was trying to push you and you didn't even realize it. And I think it's so important that we have our parents' blessings, right? Because
Yeah.
like being a creative is not easy.
It's not.
I'm not an actor or I'm not a videographer, but I've been in the creative space. I used to be a hairstylist for some time. And it gets to a point where you're loving what you're doing, things are going good, you're getting booked, busy, but then you kind of hit that low, right? We all have those different lows. So how do you navigate that low when you don't really have motivation or inspiration? How do you kind of get yourself out of that, especially when you know what's ahead, but you don't really see what you're looking for right now?
Wow. As a creative,
Yeah.
it's like a handshake that you getting low is a normal thing.
Yeah.
So you have to accept that it will happen as you are breathing. It's expected that you should breathe in and breathe out. So it's going to happen at some point in time. But how to navigate it is where the work comes in, right? So it's advisable that you as a creative find something outside your work that you can interact with. Example, nature, music, books, interaction with your friends. So it's also important you should have a community of people that you are open-minded with, that you can share certain things with. Have your own circle, that after the day's work, I want to relax with these people to talk about my day. Because in so doing, right, you'll find out that there's a strength in these things. Take for instance, now you want to take pictures, you go out to see nature, you see buildings, see the sun, see the sky, right? It doesn't make sense to the average human being. But then again, there's something it does to you. It's telling
Mhm.
you a story, telling
Yeah.
you something that you can take or tap from. You hear people say, "Oh, I saw something, or I traveled to XYZ place and I got inspiration to make music from it." Do you understand? Talking about the culture, the lifestyle, their currency, their language. So you have to have something that you can tap from, interact with. For me, trying to, in most cases, when I find myself struggling to get into character, I know that it's either my creative juice is a bit lower, so I have to leave that environment for a minute, find something that is abstract and navigate in a way that, okay, you know what, it's not a direct or forward conversation.
Mhm.
You just have to find what works for you.
Okay. And all of this sounds good, right? But I'm thinking about someone who might be like in a small village in Lagos, right? Who has the same aspirations and they're getting things going. They don't really know what to do. Like, what's a practical thing for them to be able to do? Because not everyone has access to beautiful nature. After all, we live in Lagos, right? So, like,
Mhm.
how do you kind of get your mind right as well when you're feeling like things are not going the way that you want to go?
Okay. So I'm going to say something, but before I say that, I'm going to reference your previous question.
Yeah.
So as regards the stereotype we had growing up
Mm-hmm.
during our time and now. So there was a time I went to do a shoot. I had a shoot with a client some years back, and the client booked for 2 days, right? Because there was a lot of outfits. So, and you do the normal thing in business, you invoice the woman saw the bill and she was like, wait, so I'm literally going to pay you all of this money for this shoot. Then why am I sending my children to Canada to go and study? Now she made that statement not because it's an added advantage when your children are in the career space, your normal career, IT, in medical, whatever it is. But then she looked at it and she was like, so this business this young guy is doing is actually this profitable. So if that woman were in a position to be in control of what her kids would do and her child were to come up to say, I want to be a photographer, she would actually encourage that child. Because if these guys are making now, look at it, obviously for someone to be willing to pay that much for a shoot,
Mm-hmm.
she belongs to a particular class or category of
Mm-hmm.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, someone like that has friends.
Yeah.
She has friends,
And
families,
circle.
and a circle
Mm-hmm.
that obviously can afford a fee. So think about it. If a child was the one rendering that service and doing it well,
Yeah.
that child is made
But I
in the
don't know.
business.
Our parents are funny because I hear what you're saying, right? But sometimes I wonder, do our parents want us to follow these certain careers because of money or because of bragging rights? Like, I
Bragging
feel like
rights.
sometimes, let's be honest, there's some careers that sound noble, right?
Yeah.
But when you look at the bills that you're paying, it's not really what it is.
So
So,
the
like, I hear what you're
the
saying, but let's be honest, it's not about money. It's about
so
bragging
so
rights
now
to carry
so
their shoulder
it's
and
bragging rights, but there's already a shift, and the
mm,
reality is already setting in.
mm.
Are you getting what
What's that
I'm saying?
reality though?
Now the reality setting in is the fact that God is really helping a lot of creatives right now, such
Mm-hmm.
that the life some people that are in this in quote career
Mm-hmm.
are living. Are you getting what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
The life that these creatives, some of the creatives that are doing very well are currently living, those people in those careers can actually live those lives.
Mm.
Reason is because there's a level of establishment and settlement that those people are having, and the fact that it's an unending thing, you could get a call anytime. I mean, you don't know, maybe the next 50 million naira job is going to come.
Yeah.
But the person in the career knows that before I start any 50 million,
It has
I'm
to
going
do a
to be
lot of savings.
promoted. I'm going to be, you understand that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But someone that is doing so well diligently and all of that can literally wake up. So far, you've established the brand, you have the structure, and you some way, somehow have the exposure to this certain group of people. You can rise from 1 to 50 within just from one call.
So when you say this certain group of people, do you mean like this these established people, the 1% of the
At the end of the
1%?
day,
Like, what do
most
you mean?
people, every creative is actually trying to land the big guns, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be here forever. You
Yeah.
want to get to a point whereby you're probably doing 500, you're working 500 times where you work 50 times,
Mm-hmm.
right? And for you to stop working 500 and start working 50 times, that means that you already have a group of people that are paying you well more than you were,
Yeah.
400,
right?
500
So
times.
at the end of the day, that's the peak. Everybody is looking forward to getting to the point whereby they have clients that are willing to pay the what, like pay very well for the good
Mm.
services they are rendering. So at the end of the day, I feel there is so much shift because I'm an educator, and trust me, I've seen a lot of some parents have paid me a whole lot of money to teach their children
But are they
photography.
paying you? And I'm not no slight to you. I know
Yeah.
that you're very talented, right?
Yes.
Are they paying you because you're good, or are they paying you because you're mainstream, right? Like, and again, I know that you're very talented, guys. This mainstream is amazing. Like his
Thank
work is
you.
so good.
Thank
I've
you.
shot with him so many times,
Yeah.
but
Thank you.
sometimes it's tricky. Like Nigerians can be very elitist. They can be very superficial, and sometimes I wonder: are they investing in our crafts because they truly believe in our crafts, or it's another way for them to just brag and show that they have the ability or the funds to be able to afford you? Like, let's be honest, everything you're saying sounds good, right?
Yeah.
But for a creative who is not where both of you are at, right, they might feel like, oh, if I don't get this client, that means that I'm not successful or something like that. So it just is a really tricky situation to be in.
I agree with you. However, like I tell people every time, there's a client for everybody. There are
Definitely.
some people that they would always service a demography of clients, right? Which is absolutely okay. But trust me, deep down, those people would want to advance to a next level. Now, most of those people that come to me, most of these parents that come to me, they pay so that their kids can know this thing, because they know that
The
there's
value of
already a
it.
shift in the whole thing. You agree with me that creativity sells more than the old professional line. Now, there are people that earn very well professionally,
Yeah.
but there are some people that, even despite how much they earn professionally, when they book some creatives to get the job done, their salary can finish just from that one booking.
Yeah.
Even if you are getting paid 3 million per month, there's some creatives you book that they've already built you. How many outfits do you want to do? You want to do this number of outfits, you're paying so million, and they're like, wait, I worked 30 days this month only to just bring everything and say, yeah, take.
But what they also don't realize is, and I'm sure Evil, you could speak to this too, is your workflow is different. Like you have those moments where you're busy, 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 and then you have those moments where it's like, "Ah, it's been almost 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I
Yes.
haven't
And
seen
there's no
any
client.
work."
Yeah.
Very.
So there's also this misconception that you guys are like, "Oh, he's an award-winning actress, so he
Yeah.
must be booked every film they're wanting him to, act in that film." So I think that they also don't understand that as well too. They think every day you're shooting, when in actuality that's not the case.
That's not the
Let's
case.
be honest. So it's a really unfortunate perspective that they have, and I think that a lot of us also need to be more honest too about this journey that we
Yes,
have, because they
yes.
just think that, oh, you're charging 1 point so and so million
Yeah.
because of XYZ, but there's a lot that goes into it. You're spending money on gear, you're investing in your
Mhm,
craft,
mhm.
there's a lot of things that they're not aware of. So I want to switch gears a little bit. Can we be honest? Like, can we be brutally honest about the journey? Like, what are some things that you wish you knew about the journey before you got into it? Like, if you were talking to someone who wants to be an actor, voiceover artist, or model, if you were talking to someone who wants to be a videographer, photographer, what would you tell them? Because, when things are low, they're low. When things are
Yeah.
high, they're high. But like, let's really talk about the journey. What are
Mhm.
some things that you wish you knew that, you don't
Well,
know now?
for me, I think I was told earlier, but then again, I doubted it. Pay your dues.
What do you mean by pay your dues?
Pay your dues. You would have to do a lot of free jobs before you can get the paid jobs, right? And today's generation do not want to hear that.
Actually,
But the truth is, in the process of paying your dues, there are certain things that you cannot buy in the market. The knowledge.
yeah.
You can't buy that. Take for instance, I've been filming off cam for 10 years. I got my break 2018.
Wow.
Started filming 2006,
Mm.
right? But then again, it didn't make sense
Hmm.
all those years because like, you can't tell anybody that you're an actor. Where's the show for it?
Yeah.
Do you understand? I mean, you cannot afford certain lifestyles.
Yeah.
Even when my break happened, right? It was, I mean, that same year I got my first official gig. It was the FIFA World Cup by Glow. I got the cinema gigs. I got a lot of gigs in that period. But then again, I did not have to celebrate as much as I wanted to because I know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Right? Because at that point it was like, okay, I'm trying to get recognized for the things I've been doing background up until 2021, and someone say, you know what, this guy's been in the game for a while. I've seen him do XYZ,
Yeah.
right? So if I tell somebody that I've been doing this for 10 years, would you believe?
They won't believe it, especially in this
Exactly.
generation. Like, there's a saying that, like, your overnight success took 10 years.
Right. And after 10 years, and in the period I started having, gigs, back to back, I couldn't celebrate the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
Right. And so that it decomposed the misconception out there that not everybody can go in and the first year you make it. And even if you do, you need to understand that you have to have depth. To
Yeah.
grow higher, you have to grow, deeper,
Yeah.
right? So that because there will be storm
Mm-hmm.
along the way. Like you said, there are times you will not see gigs for months. It happened to me, even years, right? So what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
So I have this friend of mine who has been an actor since he was a child.
Okay.
He featured in Fuji House commotion.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
Was a soap opera in 2000.
Yeah.
What's
In
the show? What's the
2000s,
name?
Fuji House of
Fuji House of
commotion.
Commotion.
You
You
don't
don't
know
know that?
about it?
Wow.
Are you for real?
I don't know the show.
Were you in Nigeria at this period? No, you were not.
That,
Were
like
you?
that was literally childhood.
I'm
I'm
not gonna
telling
answer that
you.
question.
Come on.
That was
The likes of
childhood.
Super Story, This Life. No, don't say
So
that.
you
I
know
don't
Super
know.
Story, don't you? Wow. Okay, let's
I don't know
let's
the
carry on. Let's
show.
carry on.
He's been
Please don't take my Nigerian card.
so he's been on the show as a kid, right?
Okay,
So he's been
okay.
in the industry for 25 years,
Okay.
right? He didn't get his break all up until 5 years ago.
Wow.
if he
So
comes
he's
out
been in there.
Wow.
as a kid, 25
Wow.
years, not his age, his acting career.
Okay, so that means he's wow. So
As a
acting career
kid,
itself was just 20
25
plus years. So
yes.
this guy has seen a
Has
lot.
seen
He's
a lot.
went through a lot.
So if he comes out to say, you know what, I have been in this space for this number of years. I have the, now he's into theater. He does theater. He travels a lot. Courtesy of that experience, right? So the misconception people have is that when you get into this space, right, you should get known the same year,
Yeah.
get a car, live a certain lifestyle. It's not
Listen.
always true.
Exactly.
I
And
mean,
it's just one big break that you had.
Do you
That one big
understand?
break might not be able to sustain you. So
do you understand?
keep
So
pushing.
even if you do, right, do
Yeah.
not believe that you have arrived. Because there
Yeah.
are people who have been in the game for
Before
long.
you.
They will take everything from you because
Honestly.
they are more brutal in the skill. They've harnessed it for years.
Yeah.
You just got famous in like 2 years and you've arrived. No, you're not.
Yeah. And that's, I don't want to sound like my parents when I say that's the problem with this generation, but a lot of these people that are not in our generation, I don't want to call any generation specifically, but they work for like 6 months and they're like, where's my check? I want blow. Or the opposite, maybe they get a really good break and then they buy a car and then before you know it,
Yeah.
they just hit rock bottom and there's no grit, there's no pushing. So the fact that your friend has been in it over 20 years, like what if he decided that after 2-3 years he was done?
mean,
like what would have happened? Like
You will never
it's so
you will never
important that
get the
people
break.
understand that paying your dues looks like you might get free work, you might have some dry spells, but like what
Yeah.
are some other ways that you think creatives should pay their dues? Because I feel like it's more that they should also do in order for them to be successful.
So like if it was said, so I'm just like giving like from a creative angle,
Yeah.
from a creator's angle, right? From a creative's angle, right? Let me put it that way. That paying your dues, I will just elaborate a little bit on it. Now, he did mention doing some work for free.
Yeah.
And you also did mention that how about someone that is like far in, and you're not really in the place where there's room for exposure. The truth of the matter is that now I'll mention something a friend of mine did mention, and that thing we've kind of like held on to it for years. And I would go back to my story. Now we would say that the only way to the top is from the bottom. That's the only way. The moment you have that mentality, it helps you grow because you know you have to go from the bottom to the top. But the moment you have that, let me just boom to the top. There's this thing that when you shoot it, pop, when it goes up, what happens? Comes down.
Gravity,
really
yeah.
quickly,
But when you're climbing a step, when you're at the top of the step, you can't come down. Wow, because you've gained momentum, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I wasn't where I am today. I did not get there by sudden flight. There was a process to it, right? And I was living in the outskirts of Lagos, like Ikorodu, deep inside. And I can't mention names, but I know of another photographer that is doing extremely well. He's one of the greatest guys in the wedding industry today. And he was also living like very close to me. Now, as at the time that guy was also living close to me, he was already a name on Instagram. I'm not going to say a big name, but I'll say it was already a name such that a lot of people were referencing his work. But he was literally living in the same area as me. This guy would go boat to the island on and on.
Outside Lagos.
No, it's still Ikorodu, Lagos.
Okay, okay.
But he would go boat.
Okay, so you would
He
take
would
the
take the
boat
boat
to the
to
island.
easily get to the island.
Yeah.
Before you know, he's probably at Takwa Bay or one of these places creating content. Pay Agbero some little cash just to create content. Wherever he probably cannot afford that. I don't know much deep into his story, but whenever he probably cannot afford that, he would then probably create with the little he has. Now, the truth of the matter is the fact that there is always something around you. You don't, when it comes to, for instance, photography, you're freezing moments, right? You're creating stills. When you create a still, nobody can easily tell where you capture this image from. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, I will flash back to, I know some people say, what if I don't have camera? What if I don't have this? What if I don't have that? When I started, I didn't have a camera. I didn't even have a laptop. I will not say I had a laptop because the laptop I was using was a borrowed system, right? So I didn't have a camera. I didn't have a laptop. I didn't have lens. I didn't have money. I didn't have everything, right? But I wanted to do it. I said I had a laptop I was borrowing, right? And the laptop I was borrowing, when I shot that image at my friends, I took the pictures, moved it to that laptop. For photographers, when you're editing pictures on a laptop that is bad, you know how frustrating it gets, but it is your process. You have to cook yourself through that process. Because when you cook yourself through that process, when things are like this, you will not easily give up.
Yeah.
You understand me? It will sustain you through hard times. So then I would just edit with my very slow system that will be frustrating me. And before you know, I put out the content and it might not look as good, right? But at least it was my beginning. Then what did I do? I started gathering my money in 2Ks, 3Ks, 10Ks, 5Ks, like that, from the little design I was doing. Then I got a camera body, not a lens. I had a body, and I remember that day I bought a camera body, I did not sleep because I was like, yes, I have a camera now. I can't mention the make of the camera, but it wasn't a great make.
The make now, it's okay.
I think it was a crop sensor 7D or so.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
Yes, a
Okay.
very long time ago. So it wasn't a great make. It was
Okay.
a Canon crop sensor camera. It wasn't the best, but it was, at least for my level,
It could do
Yeah.
the work.
it was a big deal, right? So I didn't sleep that night because I was like, finally I have camera.
Yeah.
After a long time, maybe like some 3 weeks, I gathered my graphics money to 2K. Now, what am I trying to say? You have to have something. I had something. That's what helped me build my photography. I learned graphics when I could. I've been doing graphics this is 2025, so I've been doing graphics for, let's say, 15 years or thereabout, or a little bit over 15 years that I've ventured into learning and practicing it. So I gathered that money. Later, after a couple of weeks, I bought a lens. Now, the lens I bought was, if I mention brand,
I'm
it
sure
will
the
look
lens
like,
was very expensive. 'cause
no,
I
the
hear
lens was not
lenses are-
expensive because it wasn't a great lens.
Okay.
That lens, low light. When you're shooting in low light, you're sounding vroom, 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 like, very crazy. It was crazy, but that was what I could afford anyway. So I bought it and it looked like, okay, yes, at least I didn't sleep again. Because you know what then gave me I think they were renting studio for 5K per hour then, or
5K.
thereabout, or a little bit lesser than that. So I had,
Oh, you're shocked.
yes,
5K.
5K per hour, yeah.
Naira
So-
is in the mud. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
for
I'm
real.
digressing,
Yes,
but
and
wow.
a very big studio. You have all the equipment and everything. Like, you could use all the equipment in the studio. All you
1
needed
hour.
to do was to get your camera and your lens.
Yeah.
Even you could use their trigger, etc., etc. So things were a bit better than now. So then, all I needed was 5K and Tife to create in the studio. Even if I was going to create rubbish, but at least I know it was the process.
But I feel like, and I might be wrong because I don't know your experience, but I feel like the environment or your situation was a bit more conducive then than it is now, because I feel like it's so difficult to blow in Lagos. One, it's oversaturated. Two, you feel like if you don't rub the right elbows with the right people, they won't really rate you. Three, I remember when I was doing a photo shoot some years ago, I had to like pay people just to use the space. Like, it's very limiting. And then, with the economy being the way that it is, it's so difficult to really produce content, quality content, or as an actor, it might be really difficult for you to work with certain people if you don't have that track record. So like I just wanted to make that comment because like they don't really talk about how difficult it is to be able to get to that point, to be
Oh,
able
it is.
to,
Oh, it is.
rub elbows. And then social media just makes it seem like, everything is so easy. Like there was this skit that I watched. I don't know if you guys saw this skit, but it was a very funny skit where they were like kind of poking fun at like creatives, namely like videographers and photographers. So the guy comes out of a car, I think he was going to one event, and he had like paparazzi following him, taking pictures, taking all these pictures to show where he was
Yeah.
at. Have you guys seen that skit
Yes,
before?
Yes,
yes.
it's currently
Yeah.
trended. Yes.
And then after that, yes, it's trending. And then after that, I think he only like produced like 3 pictures. And for someone who doesn't really know what he had to do to get to that point, they would think, oh gosh, this guy is big, he don't blow, blah, blah, blah. Like
Yeah.
there's just so much fake life swarming around. No one is really being honest about what it truly takes to get like, what do we do about that? Because I don't know, that kind of frustrates me. I see things on social media, I'm like, guy, like this is not even your reality. It's
Well,
just
for me,
yeah.
I would say from this standpoint, right? Who is your role model? Starting from that
Okay.
perspective, and identifying who you are, where you're going to, and what should they talk about when your name is a mention, right? Because I'm in the acting industry, I'll say this for a fact. There were people I mirrored myself with, great actors. I'm talking about Insekbe team. I'm talking about Wale Ojo. I'm talking about what's this lady's name? Olu Jacob's wife. These are people who are dedicated.
Yeah.
In their craft. I'm talking about Ireti Doyle and the likes, right? So there are certain lifestyle that they've portrayed, right? The craft over any other thing. The craft.
Mm-hmm.
When you understand that, right? Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
To
To
some
know your
people,
why.
I just want to be associated with XYZ number of people. But
Yeah.
to other people, it's a legacy, it's a brand, it's an identity of what you do, who you are, right? That way, there's how you narrate your journey around it.
Yeah.
Take for instance, like you mentioned, it's very common now. You see photographers, you see videographers come with bouncers,
Yeah,
to
like
certain spaces,
who does that? I
to
didn't
intimidate whoever wants to be
That's
intimidated, right?
extreme.
for what? Like
You want
why
to
are
say
we doing
something?
that?
Yeah, I'm like that's just very extreme. Like
Very.
so imagine someone comes to my studio and sees bouncer. Like,
But it's like, why are they
they're just
doing that? Because
very
obviously they're feeling a need to do this. Someone is making them feel
I feel it's a mentality thing. So the thing is that so now I will address the possible reason why they might be doing it. Then I will address the reason why it may not be extremely necessary. Right now, possible reason why they might be doing it. People now in this current age, perception sells a lot, right?
honestly.
So when people perceive you to be something, I mean, if I go for a shoot and I turn up with probably maybe like a mad GLE or something like that. I mean, there's already a perception. Oh
Of
my
you.
God, this guy is a big guy. Oh.
Yeah.
Let's do normal so he doesn't. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Another thing is, so people do some of these things because I mean they want to be perceived a particular way. Now we might not even really know the experience that some of these people have had, if we are being very honest, right? But the question now is that is this something that is really necessary?
And
Yeah.
For me
sustainable.
personally, I'm a very simple person, so I would always lean on the simplicity side of things, right? I feel that rather than wasting that much energy on you trying to make your person be perceived as something, why not channel that energy into the business and creating an entity for that
Exactly.
business itself? So
Hmm.
as a business, you can't go into a bank, a traditional commercial bank today and misbehave. I can't do that because there is a business structure on ground. And there is a structure that every single person has to follow. Now, when you were probably filling your bank form, there's this back document that is so tiny
Yeah.
and all of that. I would say be reading it, but
Those are
then
terms
even
and
I don't read
conditions.
it, right? But the moment you sign and you create your account, you can't just waltz into the bank and feel you can do and undo. You can't do that. Reason is because if you do that, they will bundle you out. And if you even sue them to court, they would win because you don't even know what's in that thing unless you ask your lawyer to sit down and start reading everything one after the other, right? So that energy people are channeling into trying to create, if your business is up there, right? And you are you as the CEO, founder, whatever, the day you spring up, the way they've seen your business up there is the way they will honor and respect you. But you're trying to force me to honor you. I won't honor you. You won't earn my respect that way. You're trying to make me respect you. You
Yeah.
should earn the respect so
Yeah.
that when you're there, when you're not there, the way I reference you would be here and not here. So a lot of people are just lost. It's just the mentality. I think we need to enrich our mentality as creatives,
Yeah.
because when your mentality is up there, it opens endless possibilities. But when you are trying to be, you're trying to force yourself to be something that you're not.
I think that's even their way of just investing in their craft.
Yes.
Unknowingly, it's like, let me present myself in a way that people think that I'm doing well, so that they can book me. But again, it's really unfortunate, because if I, as a client, am basing my judgment on how you look, I might be disappointed, because you
Yes.
decided, oh, let me rent all this gear, let me show up to this party with
You better make
paparazzi,
sure.
and
You
then we
better
do a
make
photo
sure the
shoot,
work
and
is
then you
really,
do
really
rubbish.
good.
Exactly.
And it
Because the client
happens a
is saying,
lot.
even after all your paparazzi, this is what you deliver to
Yeah.
me.
Let me tell you a funny story. There's this designer, I won't name names, but she's a celebrity designer. She's done like dresses for like all of the big names in the industry, whether they're actors, actresses, singers, all of that. And she also does normal people, right? So there was this girl who came for a wedding, and she wanted her to do her dress, and she talked about her experience, and she said it was so bad. Like, she thought that because this person was booked and busy, had a big name, had big clients, that she was going to do her well. But apparently, because this girl was a normal client, she was barely responding to text messages. It felt like she was doing like her, like the designer was doing her a favor. And it's just like, why do we even do this? Like, why do we, present ourselves in this way? Who are we trying to impress? There's people out there that want to book us, but I don't know, I'm kind of rambling, but I just feel like there's an issue with this perception thing that us Nigerians have, not even just creatives. Like,
Yeah, it's a
what are your
Nigerian
thoughts
thing.
on
It's
that?
a
Yeah.
Nigerian thing. I'll tell you my experience from that perception, right? Um, there's a time I was on set, right, and there were conversation going on. I was on, so the director was contemplating which of the actors should they book, and here is the conversation. I don't book him. I don't think he has the charisma to carry such character.
Okay.
So I w- I heard them say, and they asked somebody else's opinion, and the person said, "Ah, no, I don't think so, but maybe ask this other person, because I just heard he bought a house on the island."
House.
So
Charisma.
so it don't know me that there are people that sizing you up for no reason, and it's a
Yeah.
Nigerian thing, right? They just size you up for your achievement, and that's why you see a lot of fake life. Hearing
Yes,
people
too
just bought a thing because
much.
they know that by the time they size you up and say, okay, you just purchase XYZ thing, so your fee should go up based on that,
Yeah.
because you have to have a maintenance lifestyle. Do you understand? But the truth is, if these people are put to work, you, the audience, you, the viewers, you watch them and you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, this is the wrong person for the project.
Yeah.
Do you
But they're not
understand?
basing it off of if they're the person for the project
They're
and the
not.
person has a house, GLE. Can you imagine?
The same conversation went on during, I think it was 2022, where we're having content creators more on a movie set. And we're asking, what are they doing? You are having content creators come in a full-blown movie. You see, like, in the entire year, cinemas back to back, you're seeing people who do skit makers,
Yeah.
in movies, and you're trying to tell a story, but the story is not reflected on the characters you're putting on board. So it had to take Ali Baba himself to address that issue. It became a pandemic. Why are you putting creators who do not understand script reading?
Yeah, the
Do not
same
understand
could
character build.
we see that a lot, right? Like, especially in the social media age, you have content creators, no shade to content creators, assuming the roles of actors, not having the experience. You see, mobile videographers taking on, tasks that require someone who has more skill set and all of that. Like, how do you guys navigate that as well, too?
It's crazy. It's
Because
crazy.
it kind of, I don't want to say it cheapens it, but it makes it difficult for you to, I guess, charge your worth, because it's like,
Yes.
oh, well, this person could do the same thing for, I don't know, 10K or something like that,
Because
right?
because they're going by following. How many followers do they have? How many views can they give you?
Yeah.
But not the actual content itself. Because at the end of the day, when you see this project, you'll be like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, that's everything. Because you go to cinemas, you see certain movies, and you're like, you know what? First 50 minutes, I'm done. And you paid XYZ amount to watch that film.
But then our people seem to be very forgiving, though, of people who have those big followings but don't deliver, right? Like, if it was someone that had 1,000 followers and they didn't deliver, they would blast them all over Twitter and do all these things. But I feel like if it's someone that has maybe a smaller account, I don't
So
know.
the
What do you
question is,
think?
so this is where I like to look at things. I understand I've talked about perception and how important it can be in this new age, right? But how did the people that have the huge following or the creatives that have the huge following, how did they get there?
Well, some people said that they bought those
No, no,
followers.
no. Like, okay, no. We know some people will buy. We know some people will buy. But let's track back a bit.
Okay.
A lot of the genuine ones. Let me just
Okay.
focus on the
Okay. The
genuine ones,
genuine. All
right?
right. Yeah.
People built momentum to get to that part. And how did you build momentum if people did not give you a
Yeah.
chance?
Exactly.
So that's
Exactly.
that's that's the reason why I feel um at the end of the day, people will do what they will do, right? But I just feel like you have to pay attention to the product, like what you're getting beyond the clout that is in it. You would only get clout if XYZ is currently trending, or the trending blog, or the trending content creator, trending photographer, videographer. That person might not trend forever. The person might stay relevant forever, but the person might not trend forever. If you book the person for the clout, after a couple years, there's a new sheriff in town.
Even a couple months. I don't
Yes,
even
after a
think
couple
couple
months,
years.
maybe max 1 year, there's a new
Yeah.
sheriff in town.
Mm-hmm.
Now the new sheriff is already also getting his own
Traction.
clout
Yeah.
and attraction. And before you then know, you went to book someone because of clout. They will say,
Yeah.
"Oh, this person carried out this and that," and they are no more the big deal again.
Yeah.
This person,
And that's why it's
so
so
you
difficult.
fade along with them.
Time.
That's
But
why.
people would always make sorry, Wura, for cutting you
No
off.
worries.
People would always make reference to something that is good because I mean we go on Pinterest to check for
Yeah.
concepts and you see some concepts that are old but they are still golden and we still
Yeah.
make
That
reference to
timeless
them
work.
for now.
And that's why I think it's so difficult for people to stay the course because no one is really wanting to put in the work
Word.
because I can empathize with them or sympathize with them because you're trying to put in the work with them. People are not really sending for you because you haven't worked with XYZ. But
Mhm.
I don't want us to keep dwelling on those negative
Yeah,
things. I
yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
the honesty, but let's end on this final question. What do you love most about the work that you do?
Personally, I'm an arts person and I see
Okay.
art in things and most importantly, I so much believe in problem solving. Everything that
Okay.
I am today and whatever I've been able to achieve or create as a person is from the mindset of solving a problem, right? I identified a problem during the time I started my creative listen. I was in a space whereby there was a void. I learned, I built myself on that craft, and I filled in that void, right? And one thing we need to understand, there are a lot of people relocating, and I'm going to say this for creatives, photographers, videographers, etc., etc. There are a lot of people relocating, and when they relocate, a lot of very important people in these industries relocating, and when they relocate, they leave a void. The question you should then ask yourself: are you ready to fill the void? I would always tell people that I train something: opportunity meets has to meet preparation.
Yeah.
So if you're not prepared, you cannot take advantage of the opportunity. So people go, people come. You understand? The problem solving mindset has helped me grow over time. And there are some problems that are my own problems that I identify solutions on how to solve. I'm an all brand person. If you come to me empty, I will most likely be able to solve all of your problem because I have over the past decade or decades, not up to decades anyway. I'm still very young, but yes, but you get the idea. I've been able to amass a vast amount of knowledge or connections to knowledge that can help me solve problems. So problem solving personally keeps me going. I love creativity, I love art, but the fact that I know that I can solve a problem for you, that keeps me going every day.
Okay. Problem solving. Okay. Evil, what about
Well,
you?
for me, it's storytelling.
Okay.
Storytelling. How to navigate certain things via story. So, I, for the love of art,
Yes.
right? I've seen other people tell their own story. I want to tell my own story. In the event that we all walk through this journey of life, what would you say about a veil? Oh, he made this, he did this, he was in this, he had this do going, he brought these people into, by the virtue of life, I've been opportune to work with a young creative who had issues, a lady who had issues trying to find a way into the industry. And I was very careful with that. I told her the industry is a very, very dicey place. You have to, as a lady, for as a matter of fact, you have to be very intentional where you're going. importance of where you're going, because that way you know which bus stops you should not stop. So because she couldn't find herself in Lagos, she traveled all the way to Asaba just to get an acting gig, right? So the journey was not as smooth as she envisioned. So I told her about it. You know what? Come to Lagos. We were communicating, but we've not seen right in Lagos for 5 years. She would tell me a problem, and I'm like, you knew why you came into this industry. Everything is not rosy, right? But you have to put in the work. So she cried, she suffered, but today I could tell you that she's doing well for herself. And when she mentioned how she's getting gigs now, I say, remember when you used to cry?
Yeah.
Remember when you?
And now
So
she has a good
she has a good
story to
story.
tell.
If you
Yeah.
didn't pay your dues, then you keep prolonging the entire scheme of work.
Yeah.
Because you have to put in the work.
Yeah.
I was opportune to listen to ATMF Young, while he was having an interview with Judy. Then he asked him, how did you navigate, just so we're having this conversation now, how did you navigate your career? He said, somebody told him, put your worst job out.
That's a good piece of advice, because everyone wants things to be perfect. Put your worst work out. Yeah, because you can only go up. It makes sense. Wow.
The more you do all of that, the best work will come.
Yeah. So storytelling, problem solving, put your worst work out, be authentic, pay your dues. Like, I'm just making mental notes of so many things that I've taken away.
Outside noise.
Shut out outside noise,
Very
definitely.
important.
This is good. For anyone that's listening, if you're feeling that you want to get on the creative path, like, these are definitely some gems from two very successful and very honest people, because I really appreciate your honesty, because I've had conversations with other people and they're always foremen. They don't really talk about those things. So thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your journey, because there's so much that we could talk about. There's not enough time, but for our listeners, where can they follow you? How can they keep in contact with you? Can you share your social media handles?
Yeah. For my brand,
Okay.
at Mainstream Visuals, one word.
Okay.
And the other handles for weddings, film, it's just right in the bio.
Okay.
Like, it's just right there. Then personal page at Tolu Daniels _ Tolu Daniels. I can't remember, but it'll probably be.
Do you even post
somewhere.
on that one?
No, I do post, but it'll probably be. Yeah, I'll submit it and it'll probably be on the screen.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
All right, cool.
Mine is official_ View the Great, EVILLEDGREAT, all socials.
For our listeners and our viewers, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Unscripted by Swiftflix, and make sure you leave a comment on today's episode. Until next time, guys. Bye. Good? Yay!
Pull it, roll. Pull it, roll. Camera is rolling, everyone. Are we ready? And 1, 2, action. Hello, everyone. Go.
No, I do post, but it's probably be. Yeah, I'll submit.
Like